Hey everyone, welcome to episode 229, The Spotlight Effect. Welcome to the Harmony in the Home podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Hutchison. I'm a counselor, a life coach, and most importantly, an imperfect mom doing this work right along with you. And my goal on our podcast is to go from chaos to calm, feel less frazzled, and have more fun within your four walls to have more harmony in your home. Hey everyone, so I'm going to talk to you about a concept today which I think will really help you if you're doing the compare and despair, if you're stealing your own joy by comparing yourself to other people, or if you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone, just start that podcast, write that book, start that workout program, be more vulnerable with your spouse or your kids. Change is scary because it's the fear of the unknown. So even if we're trying to become more organized, it's still very scary because there's a thermometer set of comfort level. And once we have to change that thermostat, it gets very scary, even if it's for the greater good, because it's so comfortable. Before I let you listen to something that will completely help you, I want to talk to you about our sponsor, Herbal Face Food. If you have acne, eczema, acne scars, sunspots, or as Dawn calls it, experience spots. If you have dermatitis, rosacea, melasma, wrinkles, psoriasis, puffy eyes, any of those things, Herbal Face Food will help you. The cream, the soap, the serum, it's like a triple combo amazingness to make your base feel so soft and supple. And I don't even think I've used that word supple before. But in this case, I'm using it. And I would never in a million quadrillion years talk about something on the podcast that would not completely change your life because it's changed mine. So I feel like I'm the Consumer Reports. You remember those Consumer Reports? Now we just have Facebook. Like, what do you think about this? But back in the day, there was Consumer Reports. If you're going to go buy like a clock radio, you'd go on Consumer Reports and you'd read all the reports and all the reviews. I feel like I'm the 2023 version of Consumer Reports because I am obsessed with trying new things, life hacks, making my life easier, or making me feel younger, or having more energy. Whatever it is, I love trying all the things so you don't have to. And then coming back with my Consumer Reports like, yes, that's a hero. You ever watch Shark Tank? I think it's my love for Shark Tank too, because I think it's Barbara. No, it's not Barbara. Oh, it's Lori, the one from QVC. She's like, is this a zero or a hero? And I can tell you that Herbal Face Food is definitely a hero. So go to herbalfacefood.com. I recommend the cream, the soap, or the serum, or all three if you can. Use the coupon code HARMONY20. It's a one-time use, so that's why I always tell people to get the triple combo pack to get that discount on the first time. And send me what you received and what you ordered so that I can share best tips and help you stay accountable to using it every day. Go to herbalfacefood.com, use the coupon code HARMONY20. Not only will you be thanking the sponsors, but you'll be supporting the show so we never have to put this behind a paywall. And I think it's so cute we have a coupon code. I know I talk about that all the time, but it's so flipping adorable. So I'm going to let you listen to something. I bleeped out the naughty words because I know sometimes kids are in the car. But I want you to listen to this about the spotlight effect and how we're all doing this in our life.
All right, here's 9 reasons why you literally shouldn't give up. Number 1, you're literally going to die. Everything that you're doing right now in your life doesn't matter. You're going to die. And then everybody who saw the stuff that you did, doesn't matter. They're going to die too. And then everybody who heard about some stuff that you did in the future, nope, doesn't matter. They're going to die too. Everybody's going to die. And this should be the most freeing thing ever. Because you realize, wait, why am I worrying about all this bullshit when I can just do cool stuff? And you realize I shouldn't give a Number 2, nobody's thinking about you anyway. There's a spotlight effect, right? You walk into a grocery store, oh, everybody's looking at me. I gotta act like I'm walking, casually. What? Casually. Well, then everybody else is doing that as well. But really, nobody's looking at anybody. So your brain thinks you're the center of the world. Literally, nobody's ever thinking about you. Because they're all focused on their problems just like you are. You're always like, what do my friends think about me? Where am I gonna go to college? What do I do here? What do me. Everybody else is doing that too. Selfish creatures. Number 3, you solved 100% of the problems in your life up to this point. This one is no different. All the that you were worrying about in the past, all the worst cases, all the, it's going to be terribles, they never turned out that bad, right? You just got over them. And now you're here and you made it through everything. So your problem-solving success rate up until this point in your life is literally 100%. Now this problem feels no different. Just think about all the other problems that felt exactly like this. And they all worked out and you're fine. So this one will be like that too. Number 4, everybody's opinion of you is subjective, meaning you see yourself a certain way and somebody else is going to see you a different way. So who's correct? The answer is nobody. So if you could choose to believe the way that you see yourself positively, great, I don't see myself positively, I have no self-esteem, grow up. Or you could choose to see yourself how your hater sees you, literally just choose to see yourself in a positive light. Because literally every opinion that you have about yourself and your self-worth, you made this up. So if you can make it up because it's air, then you can either make up the good thing or the bad thing. And if you have the choice to do both, why would you not choose the good thing? The answer is because you love your own pain. Because somebody in your past said something to you, and then you took it to heart, and now you've never reprogrammed this programming. And you've just tried to play the game to live up to that thing without realizing that you can just end the game right now by getting rid of it and letting it go. And these people that you're worried about judging you, they don't care about you. They don't give a shit about your problems. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to be at your funeral. They never think about you. You never cross their mind. They literally don't care. You're going to enter their little consciousness for 3 seconds, then you're gone like a blip in the wind, just like everything else that they look at. So really, you only give a because you think you're important. You're not that important. Like, you're just one person out of a billion. You're literally a little speck of nothing floating on a rock in the middle of infinity. There's 8 other billion people that are worried about them being judged. It's just not significant. Ironically, you thinking that you're some grandiose, super important being is actually screwing you over from everything. When you realize, like, wait, I'm actually not that much of a focal point for somebody, then you're free to do whatever.
Now, I heard that on TikTok from MindHacksZ with a Z. So it's MindHackZ, and it has millions of listens because it just makes so much sense. And the spotlight effect, and I went to the Googles, you know how I love doing that, to give you the official definition. And I chose the shortest one because I cannot stand when people read to me. I'm like, can you add some inflection to your voice? So here I go. I'll add some inflection. I'll add some commentary along the way. The spotlight effect is a psychological phenomenon by which people tend to believe they are being noticed more than they really are. Oh, that is totally our ego. I added that part. Being that one is constantly in the center of one's own world, an accurate evaluation of how one is noticed by others is uncommon. So I love this example because I do this all the time. For example, if someone says something incorrect during a conversation and the spotlight effect causes them to think, now everybody must be talking about how I'm so stupid. And they offer a more balanced approach, is what we talk about all the time. Other people might have noticed my mistake, but they probably didn't think much of it afterwards. It's the 3-second rule like he talks about. No one is thinking about us as much as we think we are. The problem and the reason why it happens is because we're thinking about our own insecurities so much and we're fixating on them so much and we're spending 100% of our thoughts on the things that are wrong with us. That we're selfish, that we fib, that we're lazy, that we're procrastinator, that we're messy, that we're overweight, that we're underweight. We don't make enough money. We're not spiritual enough. We don't journal like we should. We don't exercise like we should. We eat junk food. None of our friends like us. These are all thoughts that happen to me, to you, to your greedy, grandpappy, every single stinking honking day. I use the example of the spotlight effect about my forehead. I cannot stand my forehead. I call it the 5 head. I'm so insecure about it. So you'll always see me with bangs or a hat, or even if I pull my hair back for a workout, I'll always have a headband on. You'll never just see me like full on forehead in and out. It's not really my forehead. It's like, I feel like I have receding hairline on the corners. It goes back like a widow's peak on crack. And so if I ever go into Walgreens and I have my forehead shining bright, I walk in thinking, everyone's looking at my forehead. The spotlight is literally on my forehead. But I can guarantee on a stack of Bibles, no one for a nanosecond is thinking about my forehead. But I project that onto all the other people as I'm walking in. And that's what we do in life. We project all of our insecurities onto other people, our kids, our spouse, the people that live within our 4 walls get the first bout of it. We project that onto them. We think they're thinking that. We look for evidence of it and then just reinforce it. And then when they say one little thing, that's why we get so defensive and we flip out because it's like, oh, they're onto me. I knew it. I knew they catch me. That's why I just love the B- work and just leading into our awesomeness and our annoyances because we all have them. And that 50-50 will exist in all humans. If you have a super organized kid, and they're on the ball, never late, always early, you're like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. The underbelly of that child is that sometimes they can be rigid. Sometimes they can't go with the flow. Sometimes they need so much routine that if the routine changes, watch out, world. It's World War III. But people looking on the other end be like, wait, that'd be amazing if my child ran on time. I'm always running late in the morning. There's always an underbelly. And there's nothing wrong with the underbelly because everyone has it. And you'll say, well, what if you have a go with the flow kid? And they'll just kind of go with the flow no matter what. And if we're running late, they don't freak out. If we're running on time, they don't freak out. What an easy kid to be around. You think, oh, that'd be amazing. What's the underbelly of that? Sometimes they don't have a care in the world. Sometimes they're disorganized. Sometimes they forget to turn in their work. Sometimes they lose their lunch boxes. Sometimes they can't focus. So we can see that in kids. So we can also see that in our coworkers, in our loved ones, and in ourselves too. And we're not beating ourselves up so much. We're like, oh, this is a strength of mine that I run on time. The underbelly of that, I don't need to think that everyone's thinking about me. But sometimes I can be too rigid and not go with the flow. And I love how he talks about how we have solved 100% of our problems before. And now this one won't be any different. Not that the problems need to be solved, but we've managed them before. And I love thinking the thought, the worst thing that can happen is a human emotion. And I've had that human emotion happen before. That's what I tell myself. That's what I help you tell yourself. The worst thing that can happen is a human emotion. It could be embarrassment. I felt that before. Shame, felt that. Guilt, felt that. Sadness, felt that. What are the other ones that are just like, meh? Felt that. Worry, felt that. So we've already felt all the emotions. So the worst thing that can happen is we feel that again. And it's a vibration that goes through our body. Nothing to be scared of. The less we are scared of feeling human emotions, the more that we can teach our kids how to do the same. That we don't have to run from them like Forrest Gump. That we can embrace them and say, this is part of the human experience. And normalize it for our kids as much as humanly possible too. And no one is thinking about us as much as we think they are. No one's thinking about your parenting. No one's thinking about your marriage. No one is thinking about how you keep your house up, because no one usually goes to your house. And when they do, a lot of times you hear over and over, they're so comforted by the fact that other people have messy houses too. Or you'll go to a friend's house, they'll be like, excuse the mess. I'm like, this is messy? What? Everyone has their own definition of mess. So no one is judging you. No one is judging me. No one is judging each other, because we're so busy judging ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. We think we can beat ourselves up to get to the next level, to lose the weight, to have more money, to have a cleaner house. If I just beat myself up and I just shame myself and just say, you're such a loser, why is your house so messy? We think that that's going to foster change, when it does the exact opposite. And then we think we compound that by thinking everybody else is thinking about that us too. But they're not, because they're stuck in their own spotlight effect. Isn't that crazy making? But it's also so true. We can see how powerful the ego is in our own brain. So then we're like, oh, if this is happening to me, this must be happening to everybody else too. And it allows you to settle in a little bit more, to start that podcast, start the workout, have more grace and compassion, to have a more organized house, start that workout program, start that meal plan, write that book, open that Etsy shop, start a new routine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever that thing is that you're like, oh, I know she's talking about that. Now you're doing the spotlight effect onto me, and you're projecting that thing onto me. Like, I know she's talking about me and that thing. Whatever that thing is, go do that thing. I'm telling you, it will bring you so much joy and peace and so much fear and anxiety all at the same time. And the worst thing that can happen is a human emotion. And none of it matters. Because like you said, we're all going to die. No one's thinking about us anyway in the process. When you let go of the spotlight effect, it allows you to live a more authentic life. You're not caring so much about your coworkers or your boss or your spouse or your kids or your parents or your in-laws or your neighbors or the mommy group. You're not thinking about all of them because they're not thinking about you. Then you're like, oh, I'm a grown adult. I get to put on my big boy boxers, on my big girl panties. I live into emotional adulthood instead of living in emotional childhood, which we all tend to go to without my management. But once we manage our mind will not manage us, and we can have more harmony in the home. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hey mamas, thanks for listening. If you had any ahas, clicks, or those lightning bolt moments while listening, you have to check out my free parenting bootcamp, where we take all of this to the next level and we try to create even more awakenings for ourselves so that we can connect more with our kids and never yell at them again. You can sign up at www.coachingkelly.com. And if you really want to fill up my love cup, send me an email of what your aha was, what your click was, what was that lightning bolt moment while you were listening. I want nothing more in life than for you to have harmony in your home and to learn how to be an imperfect mom like me, which allows your kids to be imperfect too, each and every day. Thanks for listening.